Welcome to Manufacturing Matters, the podcast where we shine a spotlight on Alaska's makers, doers, and innovators. I'm Sami Jo.
And I'm Megan. We're here to share the incredible stories of Alaska's manufacturers and the industry experts helping them thrive.
This show is brought to you by the Alaska MEP, the Manufacturing Extension Partnership, helping manufacturers across the state to innovate, grow, and stay competitive.
So each episode, we will bring you conversations with the people behind the Alaskan-made products, the challenges that they face, and the solutions that keep moving them forward. We'll also chat with the industry experts who provide insights, tools, and strategies to help those manufacturers succeed.
So whether you're a maker yourself, a supporter of the local industry, or just curious about what goes on behind the scenes, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. All right. Happy day.
I don't know where our overlay is, but I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah, that's okay.
Happy day. It's a Thursday when this comes out. We'll just say happy Thursday then.
Yeah. Happy Thursday. This is a special episode. This is just going to be me and Megan sharing different updates on what is happening with the MEP organization in general, and just kind of a good reflection on overall the program.
Yes.
So a special episode, a bittersweet episode. We're so happy that you're here along as our journey, and we'll just dive right in.
Here we go.
Here we go.
You want to go first?
Sure. All right. So we did want to share with everybody that this is the last episode that will be coming out. So super sad. It's bittersweet. This will be the last Manufacturing Matters episodes because unfortunately, coming June 30, we will be closing the program.
Rip that Band-Aid off. Wow. You just laid it on you.
It's sad. We've known this for a while now.
We have known this for a bit, which has made it more difficult, I think, for us to operate, to record these because we knew that the doors were shutting.
We knew the end was coming.
Which was sad. But
it's sad.
To explain what is going on, are we there? Should I? Yeah, let's say
let's
that
just
first.
Explain. Yeah.
The Alaska MEP, we'll get into more on the details of the funding and things, but
Absolutely.
The Alaska MEP is a program created by NIST, National Institute of Standards and Technology. We are housed under the University of Alaska. So they keep the grant. They deal with all the grant stuff. We're part of the university. We're university employees.
Yep.
Even though we are part of our own Alaska MEP. So with the university no longer housing the grant after June 30th, that doesn't mean that the MEP cannot continue somewhere else.
Right.
But right now it is just me and Sami left. We're the team. Hi.
Hello.
We're the team.
It has been a journey.
It's been a journey. So we know that the university is not going to be able to house it. And that's because there has been some issues with, I'm not going to say issues. There's been challenges. There's been challenges with this grant and meeting the requirements that have been put out by NIST. So our grant is not just free money. We're not just here doing it. We have to actually match that money. So we'll go into those details more after, but
yeah, some federal requirements. But first, so now we kind of ripped the Band-Aid off. You guys know what's coming. Thank you for sticking along with us. I want to do just like a brief introduction of just kind of like who we are and how we got started on this journey. And then we'll dive into more of the federal requirements. But so my name is Sami Jo Lewis. I'm sure you guys know if you guys have watched our episode. So I am the communication and outreach manager, and I have been with the MEP program for 5 out of the 6 years that we've been in operation. I started as a client services manager working right under Alyssa Rodriguez when she was a former director. And it was kind of like a 2-person team. And then we slowly kind of started growing and working with a handful of different manufacturers. I was able to then, as our team grew, move into a more communication and outreach capacity.
And then I was one of the manufacturers.
Yes.
That you helped.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Just
I appreciate that. Yeah. Coming from manufacturing, when my business was shutting down, you guys had an associate director at the time, Qasim, that reached out to me. Him and my dad know each other. So he already knew what was happening and recruited me for the team for this special grant like extra position that you guys had for supply chain specifically. So strengthening the Alaska supply chain was my entire goal these last 2 years. The pilot program for for every MEP, there is a full-time employee like me in every one of the centers. So that's been really interesting to collaborate on this national level about supply chain, and then also to see our problems in Alaska, because Alaska is just unique in its own way, which we've mentioned so many times on all of our episodes. We just deal with different challenges, and we have to be creative for those different things. So,
yeah.
So
to dive into more of like what the MEP actually is, we are part of the NIST MEP National Network. There is a center, sometimes multiple centers in all 50 states and Puerto Rico. So with the mission to support small, medium-sized manufacturers through different hands-on support, there have been other iterations of the MEP. As Megan kind of mentioned, we are not the first MEP in Alaska. We might not be the last MEP in Alaska. It's just really finding our footing in the different challenges that Alaska kind of faces with being, it's challenging to be a manufacturer here, and just the different logistical reasons. And so because we're through the NIST MEP National Network, there are different federal requirements, and we have to match the funds 1-to-1 ratio. We had a reprieve for a while when I had first started.
What's a reprieve?
Well, because COVID was going on kind of right when we joined, and that was like our first year, we weren't actually having to meet the match requirements.
Okay. So you guys just so everybody has a timeline.
Yes.
You guys opened up in 2019.
2019 is when Alyssa, started it up.
And it was just her.
Yep, just Alyssa, just Dr. Alyssa Rodriguez. And then she brought me on in 2020, March of 2020.
Oh, so goodness. Yeah.
Right when COVID was really
happened.
Hitting off. And so at that point, because of that, we were kind of we were all grandfathered into a relief system to just support our manufacturers. And we weren't actually required to meet our match requirements at that time. It has just been lifted off in the last 2 years that we have now had to try to meet the federal requirement match 1-to-1. So, and then there's also different federal requirements. We are required through our NIST reporting. So if anyone has ever received a survey after a project with us, that's really just to show our partners the different economic impact, jobs created, retained, cost savings, etc. And there's different high numbers that we have to hit in order to keep the funding.
Yes. Yeah. Different KPIs, key point indicators, different milestones.
Yep.
You have to get so many new manufacturers. And this isn't just a one-time a year thing. This is a quarterly thing. So I will say, coming onto the team, that was definitely a challenge for us being a small team, is that we all were doing it kind of ourselves for our own projects.
Right.
So being siloed, it's like you're learning this whole new system and how to do it. And
absolutely,
something that we've learned working together on it is like coaching the clients for the numbers that we need, because there are specific requirements. I mean, if one thing is marked differently, it could like
completely change your scores.
Right. And so we're being like the center is being penalized, right? If we're not taking the time to do coaching and taking just some extra steps to work with the system that we've been provided with.
Right. Work with our clients, work with the system, kind of manage all the things, which has just been an ongoing challenge, is putting those practices in place when our team has only ever been as big as
six was the most,
was the largest we've ever been.
Yeah.
We typically were right around 3 to 4.
3 to 4. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously if we started doing some of those things in the beginning, that would have been great, but it's all just been a learning curve. I mean, we honestly worked as a startup, just like many of you guys, trying to really put all the things in place. And like Megan said, when she joined, everyone was kind of doing the same thing. We all have our different strengths. We all have our different caps. And so we were really able to kind of segment our different things that we should be doing to really put some solid new
I think that's
in place.
I love that you brought up the startup thing, because I don't think a lot of people, because the MEP is like this name and because it's already in all of these other states, the Alaska MEP, very much like a startup. When I joined the team, I was like, oh, this is a startup.
Yeah.
We are figuring it out from the very beginning.
We might be federally funded, but this is a startup.
You're creating the communication plan. You have to have leadership for your team. Right. I mean, it's a business. It's its own little business.
You have to manage the grant, the different university requirements that come along with it. I mean,
mhm.
there are different MEPs that are standalones, I mean, nonprofits, and there's different benefits, but also restrictions that come with being sitting
Yeah.
in the university as well. So, like, a lot of the benefits has been amazing that we have people on the team, like a fiscal department, to help manage the grants,
Huge. Yeah.
manage our
We
different
have the
purchase
partnership.
orders. We have our College of Engineering partnerships, College of Business partnerships that we're
Mhm.
able to really strengthen different small
Great
businesses. And
resources.
yeah, exactly. But
Yes.
coming with that, we've also had some just different time restrictions. Things might move a little bit slower,
Mhm.
contracts, different things that really need to be put in place because we're not just MEP, we're also branded with UAA. And so everything kind of has to
Oh, yeah,
flow
that
through
too.
the
Yeah.
university restrictions and requirements as
Great
well.
point. Great point. Yeah, we can't just go buy something.
No.
It's like, yeah,
Everything has to be marked off, approved by NIST, by
you put in a whole
UAA.
plan. Yeah, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
process.
It is.
And I do want to mention too, how you said we have to do a 1-for-1 match. Some MEP centers are funded, like that match is provided by the state or by
Right.
another organization, and they don't have to really think about the funding. And so for us, if we're trying to get that match, this is another challenge of
Yeah.
Alaska, right? Our small business owners and stuff, we would have to charge for projects, and you have other resources in the community that are funded that maybe don't have to charge their clients for
Right.
projects. And not that we're competition, because we're
We work
different, we're
together and we're,
niche.
yeah.
That was just another challenge. It's like, well, now we have to approach our clients and but charge them money for our services, which is a whole
That's a whole
nother
nother
hat.
ballgame. Right.
Yeah.
And I think me starting when we started 5 years ago in 2020, going from being a startup, not having to meet that match, and so a lot of our
Mm,
services were free at the
great
time,
point.
which was amazing, and that's,
Mm,
we were able to, because we know our manufacturers, they don't have a ton of money to give out, and so we're really just trying to work with where they are and be a resource for them. And so then when it was like, "Oh, now we have to meet this match, now we're gonna have to start, getting program income to help try to fill that gap," and then that
mm.
was kind of a big roadblock when we were having services for free to now having to charge. So it just
Yeah,
really
big change in our
big
messaging,
change.
communication, right?
Absolutely.
What people thought that we did and
Mhm.
had,
Now we're
everybody is
changing.
already under the impression that it's a certain way, right?
Right.
Right. Yeah, definitely
So
challenges.
big challenges. And I think we kind of talked about why it's so hard in Alaska, but I think you guys know we've talked about it so many times on this platform, even we're we're spread out geographically. We don't have as many manufacturers as somewhere like California does, where they might have 2 or 3 centers. We
Very
just have the
connected.
one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we're connected from the other states. We're
Mhm.
disconnected from each other because we have more of those rural communities. We only have our one small road system. So we definitely have a lot of hard parts of being an Alaska
Challenges.
manufacturer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're
And Alaska
limited.
startup, we're limited.
Not only that, you have the seasonality, and I don't think
Oh,
we've
yeah.
talked about that as much. The seasonality in Alaska is, I mean, you're
It's
like
huge.
this and you're like this. And
Yeah.
these are the years.
Mhm.
You're going through winter. You're going to come up through summer.
Yep.
And it's every business. And that's what's crazy, is that the seasonality affects us so much. And you can really see that sun starts coming, more people start showing up, people are doing more things. Yeah, we have some interesting,
We
Alaska's
have
a
some
hard place to live.
challenges. It is. It's a fun place to live,
Yes,
though.
it is. Yes, it is.
So I did wanna stress that this is not a failure. The closure is not a failure, it's just a reflection of the funding realities that we are
Mm.
facing at this time. We simply just don't have the sustained match to keep supporting at this time.
Yeah,
So
which takes me to a national thing we were just talking about
Oh,
too.
yeah.
10 of our MEP centers in 10 states are not
Getting
getting
funded.
Yeah.
Right.
And other states are
They're
coming up.
in the next few years, and it'll kind of be we'll be interested to see if they're gonna continue to get the funding because, yeah, we just looked up. The MEP network has been around since 1988.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan brought it in, which was really interesting. So supporting manufacturers, and with where we're at right now,
Right.
with tariffs and bringing manufacturing to America and the different policies that Trump is putting into place, that the industry just has some very interesting things happening. And so
Right.
if this resource is not something that is going to be funded, I'm curious to see who's going to kind of fill that gap, pick up
Pick up
those
the
pieces,
pieces,
yeah,
yeah.
and be that for are nationwide manufacturers, not just in our state.
Right. Because this is a very pivotal time for manufacturing and the MEP Center in a whole. It's very
Yeah.
interesting to see what continues happening. So this was kind of doom and gloom a little bit. Like we're sharing some bittersweet news, but we really want to dive into more of a reflection and fun times, fun memories of our favorite success stories that we've had the privilege with supporting over the years.
Let's spin it off to a positive.
Yeah.
My favorite thing to do.
Yes.
Okay, favorite things.
Yes.
You've been here the longest, Sami. So
Okay.
I would love to if anybody knows me, I have a thing. It's a rosebud thorn. So do you yeah.
Rosebud
Have you heard of
thorn.
this?
Yes.
Yes.
We did this
Conversation starter.
when we went to our the national network.
Yes. We had our whole team go to the National Network conference. And so we all sat afterwards and I asked everybody their rosebud thorn. So the rose is what was the best part. The bud is like, what are you looking forward to? And I know this is hard because it's over 5 years.
I know.
And the thorn would be the worst part. That would be the thorn in the rose. So I would be honored if you would share your rosebud and thorn with all of us.
Thank you, Megan. Man. Okay. Rose. I mean, just to like speak broadly, I feel like the rose has really been, just give it a little bit of background. I came from a public relations agency when I got the job, and Alyssa brought me on and she was like, "Oh, it's going to be great. You're going to be so good." And I was terrified. I was like, I don't even really understand what manufacturing is. I don't really know how I'm going to be an asset. Like I'm scared, but she had so much faith in me. And for that, I'll always appreciate. And so I think really like a rose has been like just like seeing the beautiful, creative, adaptable, resilient small business owners and manufacturers in the state and really like understand when I thought of manufacturing, 2 babies ago, 5 years ago, I was like, oh, like cars, really like industrial is kind of what I envisioned. I wasn't really thinking about our crafters, our bra makers, our brewers, our like there's so many, cool things that are being created right here in Alaska. And I'm like, oh, that's manufacturing. Kombucha, like there's so many things that like I use on a daily, and like the craft breweries, we have a huge scene here in Alaska and I partake in that and I love that. And so I'm like, wait, these are our manufacturers. It's so cool. And I really wanted to talk about, I started at such a pivotal time, which I thought was a cool rose moment during COVID, which was kind of crazy for everybody. But when I say Alaskans can adapt, I mean, they can. The amount of distilleries and brewers that were all of a sudden making hand sanitizer or making PPE masks, like, and playing that connector. Like, I remember we started and it was a funny joke. We'd have people reach out and it was like, oh, it's the PPE girls. That's what Alyssa and I were. We were the PPE girls. And I'm talking to Alyssa because this was my first task getting on. I'm like, and my parents are, and my husband are like, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, well, I'm figuring out people that are making and can pivot and make different resources that our state desperately needs. And I'm connecting them with businesses that also need it. And I'm playing that connector role. And they were like, oh, is that what you do? And I'm like, well, I'm told it's not what I do, but this is what I'm doing right now. And so the amount of shifts that really happened, where now Alyssa would sit back and we're like, well, people are referring us to the PPE girls, but like, that's not actually what we do. And I'm like, well, it's all I've done since I've been here. So I get it.
Yeah.
So I really that's very broad, but like the friendships that I've made, seeing the manufacturers grow and thrive. I'm going to give a shout out to Lynn. I've got to work with Lynn with Swoop for so many years, through Kurt Anderson, who's been a wonderful expert we brought on. And like our friendship, I can just go up to her, give her the biggest hug. We connect about our lives. We touch base. I see her. I make sure to go visit her at all of the different markets in the valley, at the state fair. Just seeing the different manufacturers grow and really having a true understanding of what a manufacturer is. So that is really broad. That's my rose. My bud, when I'm looking onto the future, I hate change. You know that. I hate it. So this has been a really emotional, like kind of scary time. I'm like, I've done this for 5 years. I don't really know what's next. But as my good friend Megan, who's been my support, it's her and I loved, as somebody, well, growth happens from change. And so I am excited to see the different growth opportunities I have from within me. Maybe I've caught a little bit of an entrepreneur bug. I'm just super excited for growth and change that could happen. So I am excited for that. I'll say that's my bud. And my thorn, I will say this is such I've had the honor of working for this program. I think that this program can do really amazing things. I have learned so much. I think my thorn would have to be just really having to keep up with the federal requirements when the different reporting aspects. I've also been the one that's pretty much primarily tackled the reporting requirements over the last 5 years, and we're still kind of on the same wavelength as we are of California and the other states of our different requirements. Like, it's not like, "Oh, well, we get a cushion 'cause we're Alaska." We don't have that. We are at the same standards,
Mm,
and that's just been a really hard barrier
mm,
to get through because we're not California, we're different. We have so many logistical challenges, but we're kept up to the same reporting standards of the
mm.
other states, and so it's definitely been a challenge. So I
Yeah,
would say that's my rosebud thorn.
I love that. Thank you for sharing with me.
Of
Us,
course.
all of us.
And I'd love to hear yours.
Ah, thanks for asking. My rose, I think I have to echo you here. For me, it's like I was working in one business. I'm doing one thing, one business. That's it.
Mm,
That's the focus. That's what you're building. But working for the ME, like being a part of the MEP and working with everybody else, right? It's like helping this manufacturer and talking to this person and being
mhm.
that connector for this person and all of the people that you're helping. It's not just you're not focused on one. You're focused on an industry. And I think that
Yeah,
was like,
that's huge.
whoa, I was like, I didn't know that I could be so fulfilled. I was like,
Right.
dang, one person, like helping one person gives me these amazing feelings. And now I'm like, wow, we can like this is helping an industry. This is not one. This is every manufacturer and maker in Alaska. Like, how do
Right.
we advance them as a whole, not just you? And that has been my rose, I think, is the vastness of what we've been able to do.
Yeah.
And that really excites me, right?
Yeah.
Like I
It's
love,
exciting.
yes, I love that. So being able to inspire, help, all of those things from not even just on our road system, but beyond that, these islands that I have never heard of in
Yeah.
Alaska and the manufacturers they're making things. I'm just like,
Blown away.
yes, yes. There's one manufacturer I think of because it's in Cake, Alaska, spelled with a K in the beginning and the end. But sagebrush dry gear, I'm just like, where did this company come from? And I'm
Right.
like, I don't even know where Cake is. I have to go, look
Yeah.
it up and understand the geography of Alaska.
Yeah.
And then even just Alaska, thinking about the size of Alaska and how big that is, just even compared to our nation. So what
Oh,
we're
yeah.
trying to connect and bring together, and the people that are making things so far out. I mean, yeah, so many roses.
Yeah.
There's so many roses
The
there.
mixers, those have been a great rose. Had
Oh
to throw that in
man.
there.
Yes. Also, right? That's the
Yeah.
industry, helping the industry. That I
Yeah.
think that's been the most impactful thing that I've done. I'm the most proud of here at the MEP is
Absolutely.
creating those manufacturing mixers, getting the manufacturing community together, uh, having those like I would love for people to share resources, combine
Yeah.
shipping, right? Like how do we work together to overcome those challenges
Everyone's facing.
everybody is facing all in Alaska? Yeah, so I think yeah, Rose helping the industry as a whole, that just lights me up.
Love
Yeah.
it.
Bud looking same as my Rose, looking forward to advancing the industry, right? Like helping the industry grow. Like how same thing. How can we become better and overcome these challenges that we all face?
Right.
Um and then my thorn has also got to be the red tape, the hoops, the restrictions coming from private business. It's very different. But then I came
Right.
from the government before that. I was,
Right.
I was in the FAA. I did government work, so that
You have a vast
was my biggest
background.
complaint. Yeah,
Right.
about that time too. You have a
Right.
lot of hoops you got to jump through. But you're part of a very big organization.
Yep.
You're part of a very big system, and there's reasons that these
National network.
things have been put in place.
Yep.
And I just don't. My thorn is that I just don't believe that works for our people here. You
Right.
know? Yeah.
Nope. That makes sense.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of different adaptions and different things. Flexibility. I mean, I feel like Alaskans are unique. Do we not hear that every single day
All
on
the time.
on this podcast? Alaska
Mm.
is unique.
Mhm.
Alaskans are unique. Our businesses are unique. So
Mhm.
these different national systems might just not really be what our people and our community need or thrive from.
right now. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And that's okay. We're trying things.
Yes. We're trying new things. So
This
I just
is-
want to give different shout outs to you saying connections and like my 5 years. It was just like the amount of people I've been able to work with. I mean, I know I mentioned Lynn with Swoop. I mean, I feel like I got a connection. We worked with a distillery through our College of Engineering program out in Haines. We worked with Alice, who's in Nome. That has been amazing. I got to visit a salt company in Sitka. Just so many different connections and so many cool things being crafted and created in the state that it's just so spread out and diverse, and it's just been such a joy.
Yeah, it really has. So thank you all for being a part of it.
Yes.
Also, because, that's the reason why we're here.
Yes.
We've been here. Yeah.
Exploring you. So what's next? We really want to dive into, okay, if we've been a support for you, we're just so honored to have been that support. Where else can you go if you're a startup that maybe just heard about us and you're like, oh no, where am I going to turn to now? We want to talk to you just about different resources that are available to just make you known that you're not alone. Like that's been such a big thing. Manufacturers feel alone and you're not alone. There are different resources out there for you, even when the MEP will go away. So you want to jump in with some of the resources?
I would love that. Love our ecosystem. So many supportive organizations. First, we're going to start with the Alaska SBDC, the Small Business Development Center.
Woo!
Shout out to the SBDC. They are all over the state, and there's different regions. So you have different directors in different areas, different centers. So they're huge. They've been around for over 40 years. They do not need to worry about matching any funds.
We've actually been, for the last 2 years, we've been house at the Matsu SBDC with Misty. Shout out to Misty. She's been amazing.
Yeah.
And it's been super fun to be able to collaborate and work so closely with them.
Yeah. And I've used them for my own businesses. Great resource, helping you set up financial plans, getting the startup costs, getting any loans, exit planning. I mean, anything, just go to the Small Business Development Center. It's free. Go talk to someone. Yeah, they will give you information. I think that's a great resource. And
they have so many resources, templates that are already built out for you. So if you're at that place where you have this idea in your head, like start there. Really, truly start there. It'll blow your mind what they can set up for you, and it's free.
Yes.
Just going to cost you your time.
Other great free resources.
Yes.
I'm going to go not on your list yet.
That's okay.
Other great resource, Women's Business Center in Anchorage. That one is through the Impact Northwest. So there's 2 ladies in Anchorage, and it's women's business, but it's actually not just for women. Anybody can go there. So
I did not know that. I'm learning something now too.
Anybody can go there, and also free.
We love free.
Yeah. And they do workshops all the time. Great resource.
Yep.
If you're more in that startup field instead of that small business type of mindset, I would check out the Startup Digest. There's a startup calendar. Events are being added all the time. That's ran by Kai Holland. He's now a representative for South Anchorage, and he's always been a big supporter of the entrepreneur ecosystem, trying to make changes, trying to figure out what's next for Alaska, right? Like, how is Alaska going to advance? We have the Center for Economic Development. They're a great resource. They can do market research, things like that. They've helped us out with surveying different manufacturers and finding different gaps and holes. And they're actually housed under the university's Business Enterprise Institute, which is where the MEP is. So under that Business Enterprise Institute, you'll find a whole suite of things that can help, right?
That can help you.
Yeah. What are some other ones? You got CED. Apex, which is
Excel,
for federal contracts, if you want to do any federal contracting.
SBDC is under.
SBDC is
under BDI too.
Yeah. So the university has a lot of programs that are very helpful.
Yes.
Great. And then, as we talked before, the university has the College of Engineering, which they take on capstone projects. So if you're looking for some engineering help, and maybe it's something that could be fit within 3 months for some students to do.
Right. To get that hands-on experience.
Great
we have
resource.
The robotics club that was mentioned here. We actually have a manufacturer that has utilized that club on multiple occasions, and actually sometimes hires from within that club when they're looking for that certain expertise. Another big partnership that the university has is the Department of Business. So we've also utilized them with some different clients as well. Yeah. And then University of Fairbanks, I think they have a bunch of different programs as well. You have I-Corp, which is ICE, right?
Yep. You have Center ICE.
Yep.
Yeah, lots of resources. I'm pretty sure all of these are listed on that Alaska Startups page. If you go there, you can find all the different resources for entrepreneurs here that you can take advantage of.
Yeah. In
Yeah.
Alaska. And a new exciting one I hear is in the works. Wink? Was that an awkward wink?
Yep, with the MEP closing down and with this being the third iteration, right? We are seeing like we've done all of this work now for the past 6 years and then we're like, where does that go? What happens? Nowhere. That's it. It's just going to float away. That's going to be it. And then another MEP can come along and do it all over again from the
Starting over.
start.
Yeah.
But it's like,
From
how can
scratch.
our manufacturers, like I'm going to just group myself in manufacturers. We put in a lot to get this connection, get these datas, build this community. So we're going to start an association. Me and my former business partner are going to start a manufacturing association here in Alaska, Alaska Manufacturing Association. Right now, we're just kind of flirting with different things that are going to work. We're building a directory. Really, we want that business to business facing directory to be the first thing because you have connected so many people. And I have connected so many people. And when you and me are not here to connect these people, how are they going to be connected? Yeah.
Yes.
And our manufacturers is a very special group. When I was talking to the SBDC, only 15% of who they help is a manufacturer. So I'm like, this niche group, how can we strengthen our connection?
Right.
Yes. So we're starting a directory. Check out Alaska Manufacturing Association. It's slowly going to grow.
Yes.
Yes. And it's going to be a place for our people.
Your bud, your change, your growth.
That is my bud. And my favorite line I'm going to go with now is it's by manufacturers for manufacturers.
I love that.
Right? Because this is how we need to help each other. Yeah. This isn't about trying to sell you something. It's like, how can we connect?
Right. Yes. This is about building community.
Yes.
Megan is key at building community. And so this is going to be huge. She has started mixers, which has been so much fun. And she really wants to keep that going, keep manufacturers, that niche market, having a place to really collaborate and connect through this new association. So I'm super excited.
Thank you.
So
I'm super excited.
We're still here for you. There's still resources for you.
Yes.
So that's really what we want to emphasize. BEI has so many resources. SBDC has so many resources. And if you're looking for a place to collaborate and connect with your people, with manufacturers, check out Alaska Manufacturing Association.
Yeah. Yes.
So with that, we want to just kind of exchange closing notes. I think this has been such a joy being able to work with Megan over the last few years, being able to help you guys. It has honestly brought me so much joy being able to connect and work with so many of you guys and see business ideas start from literally like an idea to flourishing. And
So
just
cool.
being a part of that journey has meant so much to me. So I just want to say that
Yeah.
as a little wrap up.
Agree. Find us on the internet. Find us on LinkedIn. We're still here to help. You're going to still be around.
Yes.
We're in Alaska.
We're
in
around.
Alaska. We're around, and if you have any questions, we're here to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will not be closing until June 30th. That is the final day of the closure. This episode is probably going to go out pretty late in June. So when you guys see this, it might be
Here's the
nearing the
Band-Aid.
end. Here's the Band-Aid.
Here's the Band-Aid being ripped off.
But
Welcome.
we are still here for you. We have really enjoyed working with you over the years and seeing so much growth. And you know what? Manufacturing matters.
Manufacturing does matter. Everything
This
that we're
podcast
using.
has been so fun.
Yes, it has.
I'm probably going to miss this as one of my things I'm going to miss the most.
Also, I'm just going to mention the growth that we have had personally, well, professionally. I'm going to say professionally. If you've watched other podcasts or shows, just last year, I mean, we weren't even in a recording studio.
No.
We weren't using cool mics.
No.
No.
We didn't have like this whole
It wasn't going up as a
intro,
podcast.
outro. As a podcast.
It was only a YouTube, right? So, I mean, this is just the energy and effort that you put into things and how they grow, and which is another thing of why we love seeing it with our manufacturers too. You're putting energy and effort into something and it's your little baby.
Yep. We want to see you grow. Change is okay. As much as I hate change, change is okay. We can all change. We can all adapt. There are still so many resources that will be here for you. I never want you guys to feel alone. please don't hesitate to reach out to us with any questions. Megan and I, even when we're not at the MEP, I mean, she's starting her own cool thing. We'll be happy to answer any questions and direct you to the right people so you guys still feel supported. I really want you guys to take that from this.
Yeah. And let's, manufacturing still matters. Keep spreading that word, keep inspiring others, and keep building things that make such a huge impact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have a dream, go for it.
Hell yeah.
There is a lot of challenges and a lot of gaps in the state that need to be solved that are waiting for you.
Yes. You have anything else?
I don't think so.
Hard to say goodbye, guys. Okay.
It really is.
Here we go. This is the last time.
No. All right.
Oh, wait. No, we're going to say manufacturing matters next. Okay.
Okay. Bye. That's a wrap on another episode of Manufacturing Matters. A huge thank you to our guests for sharing their journey with us.
If you enjoyed today's conversation, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with a fellow maker.
And want to take your manufacturing business to the next level? Visit alaska-mep.com and schedule a free consultation with our business team.
Until next time, keep building, keep creating, and keep proving that manufacturing matters.